Google is now apologizing to its customers after the tech giant says it just forgot to tell users that its Nest home security system came with a built-in microphone. Now, Google's saying in a statement to USA Today it never intended for it to be a secret, and it's only activated when users specifically enable that option. Joining us now is Dave Maney. He is founder and CEO of Deke Digital. So, Dave, was this just an honest mistake, or was Google actually trying to spy on us?
Somewhere in between, David. I don't think it was an honest mistake. There's enough lawyers and enough engineers at Google that no product would get released from Nest without conscious decisions about what was going to be in the tech specs and the disclosures. So it was not an honest mistake. That's different than saying they're here to actively spy on us. The phrase that I love so much about what this represents is, we've entered an era of surveillance capitalism.
Great.
And Google is the best quiet practitioner of the art.
That's right, because everybody else has caught so much flack, Dave. Like, for instance, FaceTime and the eavesdropping capabilities. That was pretty scary. I actually got rid of my Echo because I'm afraid of my conversations being recorded. Maybe it's a bit paranoid, but yeah, that's just the way it is online these days. The recent news this week as well, that Google, 18,000 Android apps actually retain your information without you actually allowing them to do that. So is there such a thing as privacy anymore?
Not if you're an active internet application user. If you think about it, we get remarkable and valuable services for no cash outlay from Google and Facebook and all of those apps on our Android and Apple phones. We have to admit there's a huge benefit to us. The cost is we are giving up every single time, and with every single app, we're giving up little tiny slices of our privacy, and we are the product. So, it's a trade-off.
Yeah, now look, you said they're not trying to spy on us, but the news flash is, yes, they are. That's exactly what they're trying to do. That's how they make money. That's how they turn it around. As you say, they give us products for free, but it's not really free. And the next is going to be Google Bathroom, Google whatever. But I think even Steve Forbes, Steve, you've got to be concerned about the definition of property rights. And that is, we've sorted out what the property rights are. And if somebody builds their tool shed in your backyard, you're like, no, you have to get that out of here because I own this land. This definition of who owns the data and who owns the information about your life and your family and your kids and what you're eating, what's in your toilet, what's in your refrigerator, all of that stuff is going to come to a head, and there's going to be regulation.
No, there's no question, Austin, that's the case. I was just talking to a friend about this, and it reminded me of the scene from Animal House where they've wrecked the poor frat pledge's car, and then they looked up and they say, "You screwed up. You trusted us." And I do think that's sort of the dynamic that we're at.
Yeah, well, Austin, you've got to get rid of this toilet thing that's flushing with excess. I don't know what about it. But in terms of data, I don't think most people mind if they know what you buy and what you want, because it's a convenience to you, and that's how they get their ads, and we get their services for free. But in terms of a voice conversations, that's quite another matter. And yes, it's one thing to have a particular word you might use to get a system going, a security system, but quite another where who is actually listening. And you have to wonder, did Google give a present to the president, hoping to get something on him for the 25th Amendment? Who knows? But the voice thing is bad, and I want to know what you think is going to happen in terms of regulation. The Fed's going to do something, or state's going to do something, which is really going to put a real wrench in their model.
So it was interesting. I was very close to a U.S. Senate candidate this last fall that ran, and in all of the polling that they did, and it was in a Rocky Mountain state, but in all the polling that they did, they could not get the privacy thing to show up it was not making a blip. But my sense is that it's coming. And it seems to me, Steve, that there's at least some kind of plain language disclosure requirements. Like this thing, this one doesn't feel right. I think we can all agree. This thing of you put a microphone in there, you could activate it if you wanted to. It's just a software update. Like, that doesn't feel right. And I think when you start to hit those thresholds, as somebody like Austin could tell us, who was sitting at the right hand of the president, I think that's where you start to go, hey, we probably ought to do something about this.
Listen, guys, there's few people you don't invite into your house. You don't invite a stranger into your house. You don't invite a vampire into your house. And you don't invite tech-enabled technology into your house that's connected to the internet, because you know what's going to happen. You're going to be surveilled. This is a big business model for these companies. Dave, I wonder, is there another business model? Because obviously spying on people, knowing exactly everything about them has become such a huge business for companies like Google, which I'm invested in. What is the other business model?
Well, I mean, it very much, by the way, this is the other through the looking glass problem that the media business has, right? It's like, hey, guys, is there another, you folks in the newspaper business, is there another business model? Well, yeah, we could charge people, but it turns out they don't want to pay it anymore, and we don't have the eyeballs don't aggregate in the same way anymore. That's the issue we're facing here, right? Like, is there another business model? Yeah, you could charge everybody $10 a month for your Gmail account, and you could charge them a significant amount more to be a subscriber to search services. I have a funny feeling that the average American would say, as I think I heard from the panel, I think it's okay to say, I'll let you know some things. But there's got to be some bright lines. And as Steve says, I don't want people listening to me, even if it's not people, if it's just, circuits listening to me, aggregating my conversations and then being able to do it like your credit card statement. Right. How many times did you say, screw you this year?
In a way, this is going to turn into a high-income versus low-income bit, in a way. If you look at Apple products, they charge you. They have big markups. They charge you. They tend not to be doing a whole lot of advertising. They tend not to be including little spying things and cookies that track you and link your phone to your computer, to your Nest and stuff like that. But if you don't want to pay the money, then you're relying on free stuff, and if you're going off free stuff, then their business model is to spy on you.
I think we got to leave it at that, unfortunately. Dave, thank you so much for being here with us, as always. Great to see you. Please come back soon.